Hi, I'm Denny Fuller, and welcome to my new channel. It is called Inherited Irony. And let me tell you a little bit about myself so you'll understand where that title came from. Um, I am a Gen Xer. I was born in 65. I have an elderly mom that I help take care of. I've also got three adult sons, one of whom has two sons of his own. So I'm very much in the middle, sandwich generation, right? Where I care for both sides of my family here. And the other thing is that if you're my age, you have elderly relatives, parents, uncles, aunts, cousins that are passing away, and you are having to deal with a lot of their possessions. I had an elderly aunt who passed away, and I don't know what it is about that generation, but they love their collections. And this goes beyond just, the family heirlooms and things like that. I'm just talking about collections, and everything for them was a collectible. And so how I had to go through her apartment, and it was mind-boggling how a 92-year-old lady could fit so many items in a one-bedroom apartment. And she was not a hoarder or anything like that. It's just that she had a lot of collectibles, a lot of things. She loved cats, and she must have had 200 cat things. If it had a cat on it, she had it. Little crystal cats, ceramic cats, you name it. She even had a cat nativity scene. I mean, it was awesome. Anyway, and her husband, who had passed away a few years before her, was also into collectibles and things, and she did not get rid of any of his stuff, which meant that I inherited it. And he was really into frogs. And so there must have been about 100 frogs in that apartment as well. So that's the inherited part of my title. And then the irony comes from the fact that, oh, probably about 10 years or so ago, my husband and I really embraced the ideal of minimalism and just general decluttering, right? And we have spent a lot of time and effort decluttering our house and getting rid of things. And because, like I said, I have three grown sons, and I don't want them to have to deal with my collectibles or my stuff. And so I'm very mindful of that. And so I've worked really hard getting rid of a lot of things, and have finally gotten my house where I love my house, and it gives me a lot of peace and calm. And then I have this tsunami of collections coming my way. And how do I reconcile these two things and still keep my sanity? And then also, I don't want to just throw things away in the dumpster. It isn't trash. It doesn't have a whole lot of monetary value, but it's not trash. And so I don't want to just throw it away, and want to be a little bit more sustainable. And then I was thinking, I had this other idea that I wanted to create a community garden, or actually a little nursery of plants, outdoor and indoor plants, because I have too many plants. My yard, I love to garden, and my yard, I can't fit another flower in my yard. It's just, it is at capacity. And I love to propagate houseplants. And I know a lot of people think, oh, you can't have too many houseplants. Yes, you can. You really can. So I still enjoy doing those things, propagating all these plants, but I don't have the space for it anymore. And so I thought, oh, I'll make a little nursery in my yard, and so my neighbors and my family can come and get potted plants. I harvest seeds, I do all these different things, and I thought that that would be a really nice way to build community. And then I'm looking at all these collectibles and realizing that a lot of them would make really great containers for plants. They weren't originally designed for containers, but they would work really well. And so why not, combine those two ideas and have my little nursery that utilizes all of these collectibles or collections and things, and that would be a great way of getting rid of it in a sustainable way, so that my neighbors and my family could enjoy it. So that's really the catalyst of this channel, is that I want to just kind of chronicle how I'm using all of these inherited things in a sustainable way and a positive community building way. And I also want to know, how are you handling all of the wonderful collections that you're inheriting? And how are you dealing with that? What ideas do you have to get rid of these things, but in a thoughtful, intentional way, and not just throwing them in a dumpster? So I was hoping that we could use this channel as a way of sharing ideas. So if any of this resonates with you, if you are someone that has done a lot of work decluttering and now you're looking at, oh, I'm going to have to deal with, grandpa's shot glass collection, 100 little shot glasses, which, as I'm thinking about it, would make great little succulent containers, I think. But anyway, um, maybe you have something like that, or you have a bunch of boxes. You already have a bunch of boxes in your garage of someone's collectibles, and you just don't know what to do with it, and you're overwhelmed every time you look at this stuff. Um, maybe we can exchange some ideas of how to do this and build our own little community of minimalists trying to figure out what to do with our inherited items. And so together we can work that out. And so if any of this resonates with you, um, please like and subscribe, follow along, and let's figure out how we can deal with our inherited irony.